Oh, whew. Hello there. I'm wearing stripes today. I don't actually really have clothes that have stripes on them. I just figured it was like an interesting change. It's nice, actually. It's really weird. It's like a barcode. Anyway, today we are talking about pop protectors. Now, yes, I have talked about pop protectors in the past, so I do have a what is video on pop protectors. If you want to check that out, look in the description down below. And at the end of the video kind of jazz. But in this particular video, I actually want to review 4 different types of pop protectors. Maybe I technically have a 5th type. I don't know what it's called, but I will grab it right now. Look, this is the type that I'll start off with, but I do have little baggies here. So these are all from SteelBook Central, which I will show right there, which hopefully it will focus on. So I have 4 different packages here, plus a actual premium here. And I've got 5 different things to show off. In this video, we'll be talking about the SCF10, which is that one. These are the newest types that are different to the standards, which are the SCF1. God, I can't pronounce them properly. SCF1 is the regular one I get. SCF10 is slightly thinner. I will show you. Then we have the SCF3. I don't know if this is focusing on the actual names of it all, but the SCF3 is for the slightly larger ones, which I did buy a good handful of, again, a packet of 10, because I've got a few that actually fit the size of it. And luckily last we have the SCF17, which is the very big one. If you look at the actual description on the eBay page for SteelBook Central, they do actually detail the width, length, and dimensions of the protectors once they're in their properly folded out form. So if you want to do a very exact measurement of your actual premium or steelbook just to make sure that it will correlate correctly, then yes, you can do that. And I do suggest that because that's what I did. So firstly, I'm going to show off one. I don't actually know what this one is. I'll put it on screen because I'm pretty sure it is the one for Film Arena. So some brands, this is the Film Arena Alien Double Lenticular, have particular protectors that really just protect their own size, because the Film Arena size this is the extra large pack. It's quite large. In contrast to Mantalab and Everything Blue's Blue Pack, they all vary in sizes. For example, the Blue Pack has its own protector because it is actually bigger. So this, I believe, because I got this protector with the actual premium, I do believe that this is the one specifically designed for Film Arena labels, so I will put that up on screen as that is what this is. Does it fit it well? Yes, I actually do believe it is. This is a double lenticular pack. The only difference you can see is you can't really tell too much. Unfortunately, they're clear acrylic plastic, so it's hard to be specific in your review per se. But it measures quite well around it. It's just a bit beefy at the top, but I do believe that is because I've actually put in the extra slip from the set in it. So if I didn't have that extra smidget of size, I think this would be a perfect fit. To add to it, this still does have a lot of its initial plastic on it. Some of them, when you get them out of their packet, they come in flat, all in a cardboard mailer, which is nice in their bags. I usually buy a bundle at a time, saves for shipping fees and whatever, especially because tax and import, because it's from the UK, I'm in Australia. They come wrapped in, they have a thin plastic on top of them. It's a very obvious plastic, you'll know it when you see it. And make sure that they don't particularly scratch. You can keep that plastic on it. That's up to you. For me, I'm the kind of person who, look, that's what the protector's for. The protector is there so you can see it, and if it gets scratched, only the protector gets scratched. So I take the plastic off, and I put it in a protector. I fold it out and everything. It's a fingerprint magnet. So if you're very particular about that, then that's a thing maybe fold it out before you take the plastic off, and then take the plastic off. Me, I prefer to take the plastic off first and then do it. So yeah, so that's what I got with the actual protector that I actually got with the premium. Of course, you get one barren side with absolutely like nothing to stop from showcasing, which is good for the spine side, so you can put it on the shelf and see it just says alien flat as daisies, whereas the other side has the little like connector. Sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small, sometimes they're inside the plastic or like underneath, or sometimes they're on the top. It's always best if they're underneath, which they usually are from SteelBook Central. I get pop vinyls, so some of their protectors have the thing on the outside, and that can be a fucking nuisance. But yeah, for the simple measures is it pops open, it has 2 extra flaps on the sides and in the base, and it's the same on both ends. It's good stuff. I'd show it off in more detail, but I figure it's pretty self-explanatory as to how you'd expect it to work, and the images do justice on the actual eBay page. So I will actually show off my big one. Which one's the big one? The big one would be the SEF17. So, for example, I have 2 left. This is what they come as. So hence the plastic. Again, very easy to peel off. You've got your lid, you've got your 2 little flaps, and then you've got base and your 2 flaps. It could go either way around because it just works that way. It depends on how you position it in the premium thing in the actual protector. So this is the SEF17, designed specifically for the more obvious one, the Everything Blue. This is my Shaun of the Dead Everything Blue pack, and it's literally the exact same as you've just seen from the Alien one. However, it's just a bit thicker than the Alien one. But what I have done is I've used the exact same protector for my other Alien Premium, and as you can see, it fits pretty darn well. There's just enough space for, like, because it's obviously a slightly smaller Premium. It's a slightly smaller pack, so this one can fit it perfectly. So if you're like me, who's like, shit, you know, I have only like 2 film arenas or 1 Everything Blue, but the Everything Blue's bigger, and then I've got a HDZ, like, I've got a bunch of different ones that don't all have the same measurements. So I bought a 5-pack of this one, put 1 on my Everything Blue, put 1 on Alien. I have 2 spares, one which I hope to put on my Blade Runner 2049 Film Arena, whenever the fuck it arrives, and maybe my premium for Parasite. However, as a little extra, because I didn't want to have to cough up an extra $15 for a HD Zeta Premium protector, this is what I did. This is probably where you'd probably get most OCD. I put it in this one, and as you can tell, there is quite a space. There's probably half a centimeter of space there, which I don't particularly mind. It keeps it safe and secure. There's enough room at the top, enough room at the sides. It keeps it safe. It's a double lenticular. It can be a bitch and can scratch really easily, and I didn't have anything to protect it, so this fits it. It fits it quite well, so I don't particularly mind that, and as you can see, it's not bad, so you can always make do with other sizes if you need to. The only thing is, this is still far too big for my Manta Lab, so my Manta Lab has to still stay in the plastic slip that I got it in. However, there are different sizes for different ones. So again, for Film Arena, this is actually a smaller size that I got for my Birdman one. I didn't actually buy this one. It came with the set, so hence it's quite damaged and whatever, but I think it's actually a really snug fit because this is not an extra large set for Film Arena. I don't know which one this is called though, so I think it's just standard Film Arena one. It might not be, it's definitely larger than the other ones that I have, but thinner than the one I got for my Everything Blue, and the one from that I have on my Alien one, so I don't know specifically which one this is labeled as. If I can find it, I'll tell you, but for the most part, there is definitely very clearly one that is made for lenticular film arenas that are thinner. This is just a steelbook with a booklet and a bunch of images. Actually, it doesn't even have a booklet, it's just a bunch of images. So, this is the smaller film arena ones, and it works out pretty well. Now, in general, all of these look the same, but there are 2 distinctively different ones, which I will show you right now. Okay, I'll save that one till last. So, I have 3 different types here that are left. I have my one for my Amelie. Yeah, kind of weird, but it's just because I had like a 10-pack and I had a bunch of spares. That one would be the... So I've done the 17. I haven't done the 1. I haven't done the 10. It would be the SCF3. I got a 10-pack. The reason I want to mention this one off before I talk about my individual SteelBook ones, which is the SCF1 and SCF10, which are the most divisive in my opinion, just because they're very different but very much the same. This is probably more or less something that would fit more standard stuff, so slipcover stuff. So this is Amelie. It's just a regular Nova Media, just slipcover. Comes with the regular case inside. Still the simple base top easy jazz stuff. I've used this exact same protector for a few of my Everything Blue ones, this being the double lenticular for Hot Fuzz, the Shaun of the Dead slip cover pack, and my which was just snug enough on my Scott Pilgrim vs. the World SteelBook pack. That one's the one I was most tricky on because it's very thick. Yeah, it surprisingly doesn't look so much. It's just, it's one of those that got a lot of embossing to it, so it just is snug enough, whereas the Hot Fuzz double lenticular, which is the one you'd think because it's thicker, be harder to fit, but actually fit pretty well. So those ones are all protected in the exact same one that I protect this one in, which is good. This one's worth it even just for regular slipcover packs, whether you have a SteelBook or whether you have just a kind of premium thing that you want to keep protected. Amelie, because it's got a glossy nature to it, I wanted to keep it protected, despite the fact that it's a film that I will probably watch quite often, and I actually have watched this version of it, and it is very good. So yeah, it's easy to take out of its slip cover and everything, so I would provide a demonstration, but because of my last two, I'll show it with those two. Similar kind of techniques. So last but not least, we have the SCF1 and the SCF10. These are the ones that are practically identical, but again, very, very obviously different. So the SCF10 is the thinner one, the SCF1 is the original. I preference the SCF10 and the SCF1, and I'll show you why. I'll show you the SCF10 in a second. Give me some time. So the SCF1, I don't know why it's called SCF. If you know why it's called SCF, give me a shout in the comments, because I don't know why it's called that. I feel like it's, I don't know, it's just a weird name for it. So, same kind of general opening, same at the bottom. This one, easy peasy, slips out, simple shit. This is a regular SteelBook, nothing extra to it, slips in, slips out, no hassles whatsoever. This one can also house J-cards, so, but not stuff that like a slipcover. If it has a very, very thin slipcover, sure, easy peasy. If it's slim enough, like the what do you call it? If it's slim enough like a J-card, then even the thickest of J-cards, it should fit in here. This by itself has plenty of room. I could put its J-card in it, but because I like to appreciate the artwork of the doggo, I'm going to keep it like it is, just like with my other two John Wick SteelBooks. This is the one I use for the majority of my SteelBooks. It has that bit of extra width and a bit of extra height, which is perfect for any SteelBook, so it can make sure that it stays in good condition. This is also good for Mondo SteelBooks, anything that comes with a plastic sleeve, even if if you want to keep it mint and it's plastic, shrink wrap, this is what you want. You just have to make sure you put it in the right way so it doesn't rip the shrink wrap off. I learned that the hard way on a very expensive Mondo, but luckily I realized what I was doing quick enough that I was able to stop and do it from the other side. Nevertheless, yeah, this is the standard type. It's what I would suggest for any regular SteelBook or any regular SteelBook in a protector, in a slipcover or in a J-card. It's the good one. It's my favorite of them. Again, it's a bit bulky. It can look really annoying on the shelf if you combine it with regular Blu-rays. That much is true, but you can also put regular Blu-rays in it. You can put anything in it as long as it fits the size. It's just DVDs that can't fit in it, pretty much. And yes, there are protectors for... I'm pretty sure there are protectors for DVDs as well. I mean, hell, they have them for pop vinyls, for Game Boys, and stuff, so... Yeah, the SteelBook Central does have a lot of different protectors. This is the newest one, the SCF-10. So, hence, 1 is like the basic, 10 is slimmer, more defined, so it fits perfectly for anything that's just SteelBook, nothing, no J-cards, no extra slips, nothing. I don't like this one particularly, and that's just me, because despite it being so perfectly slim, and trust me, it is perfectly slim on my Blade Runner Mondo, the lid, because of the length of it, can sometimes pop a bit, and I've got a few of these, and trust me, I've had to put weight on them to make sure that they stay down, so that can be annoying if you don't have things stacked on top of it, or unless you stack it, like, lengthwise, then sure, it doesn't really matter, probably. It still has, obviously, enough ceiling space, so it can still jostle up and down. That's pretty easy. My complaint is the base. The base is vastly different. So whereas the top, you can see, is simple, why isn't the base the same? Now, this is a real bitch to put together, so I'm going to show it to you anyway because it's for a video. So I will take this out, and again, very slim fit, no damage, no problems. A good protector to house a very important steelbook. But as you can kind of see there, but not really, it's even hard enough on the images itself, there's a flap. Because this is like a jigsaw puzzle. And unfortunately, there aren't no instructions. Now, of course, you could probably put 2 and 2 together, but it comes with 3 different pieces. And the way I've done it, which I don't know how much of this is really going to show up on screen, I've put the individual little divots underneath, and I've kind of combined the other 2 on top. I don't know if this is the way to do it, because there's no way to make it flat. That's what I've learned the hard way of. It's always going to be buoyant. Despite how heavy the bloody steelbook may be, it's always going to stay like this. Now, because it's not as long as the regular steelbook protector, the SCF-1, it actually carries at the exact same height. So there's no real concern there if you want, like, you know, them to be at the same height, because they will be at the same bloody height. Doesn't matter how you put it, they'll be at the same height. My concern is the fact that that's not really concerned, because you'd think that, oh, if you don't interlock it properly, it could slip out, and it could. That's a thing. I'm not very big on that. I'm not very big on the ones where you have an empty side spine, and it's just like a protector all around except for the spine, and you can slide it in and out. I understand those, but I'm not big on those. It's not particularly my jam. I wouldn't mind getting those at some stage for particular steelbooks, but I really, really don't care to, because it feels too much like a Mondo slipcover, where you can take off shelf and it will the steelbook can slip right through. So there are benefits to having protectors and slipcovers, but there are also problems. And this one, the most problem is just figuring out how the hell to put it together. So I will open it up. It has a base level to it, and then it has 2 hooks. So it's kind of got like 2 polar ends of a jigsaw. You got one end that divvies in and divvies out, and one end that goes like a skate park. It goes up and then down again. Probably not like a skate park. I think the other one more like a skate park. Anyway, and at the base, I put in the little interlocking pieces. Really, again, because it's acrylic, it's really hard to show these off. Without showing my face, at least. It's kind of hard to say. You can kind of see it, yeah. It's got enough distinction around it. So you got that little triangular piece. You got a top and a base. So pretty much I've put the little 2 pieces on the inside down to the base. And then I've plugged in the top sections, so the ones that have the walls at the sides. And I've put those 2 together. And I've plugged them down. And again, this can be tricky, because I've done it in 2 different ways. There are like 2 different ways you could do it, where you can have these little pieces be at the top, or you could have them be at the bottom. I've tried both. and they work both ways, so I guess there is the leeway there. And then I've tried to just kind of plug the extra wall in, but because yeah, okay. Yeah, and that's pretty much how I've done it. It's really awkward to show this off, I will be completely honest. But yeah, so I've left those little prongs at the base, attached the wall to it, and kind of flattened it enough that I can flatten in the extra layer with it. Now, please, for the love of God, if you know how to fucking use these, tell me. Because it's just not easy. Even if I do it the other way around, there are so many different variations for how you can put it together. But ultimately, it's just annoying. But because I bought them, I'm obviously going to use them. But again, you put it like that, they don't fall out. So there is that, at least. I can understand why people prefer it because it's slimmer. It's a closer, tighter fit. You don't have any room for the SteelBook itself to bounce around. However, if you're a big mint condition SteelBook collector and you like your what do you call it, J cards and whatever, then yeah, sure, this is not the one for you. But yeah, and again, just like that, see, it just stays popped up. Maybe it's because I'm not folding it down initially to begin with, because I know that you can fold it outwards, take the SteelBook out, and then fold it into the actual SteelBook itself, into the actual protector itself, to get an extra bit of fold to it. Yeah, after buying these the first round, I went straight back to the SE ones. I wanted to test them out because it was like, oh, it's a slimmer fit and everything. And the bottom looked decent from the images, but it really can be an absolute bitch to put it together, because I was just like, what? Why isn't it like the top? Like, how is it that you can have the top be one way and the bottom be a completely different way? And maybe it's because the bottom seals in a particular way, where hopefully I'll focus on it. Maybe the bottom seals in a particular way where it can actually attach like this. But I don't know. It's just how it is. So, yeah, as an overall, that's really because all the rest of them are different sizes, but they all work the same way as the SEF1, whereas the SEF10 works differently. It's the only one that works differently to the rest of them, as from what I have seen. So ultimately, if you're looking to buy one, if you want standard SteelBook, but then you just want the leeway of maybe if I want to put the protector on it, or if I want to put a, what do you call it, maybe it's a Mondo, maybe it comes with a slip cover, like a, or, well, slip cover, yes, or it comes with a J card, sure. SEF1 is the one you want. If you just want to display it for the artwork, but don't care about if it sticks out a bit up a bit and whatever, and you don't care about like how complicated the base is, then yeah, sure. The SEF10 is perfect for it. It's a slim, perfectly cut fit. It's perfect for any SteelBook just by itself, out of plastic usually. Actually, I definitely say out of plastic, because most plastic ones, most ones in their shrink wrap would come with the J card attached. So yeah. I don't mind the extra space, the extra height. I've been dealing with that for the past 2 years when it comes to the SEF1s. I don't mind it. Like, yeah, it's just a bit more height on my Blu-rays, but at the same time, which you can't really see. Like, I've got something like the Shining SteelBook, which is in the SEF10. Next to it, I've got a standard Blu-ray, then a Criterion, and then I've got a Criterion Digipack, which is the same height as the SEF10. And then I've got another standard, you know. So it doesn't really matter if you have such a colliding wall like that. I've got digibooks. I've got, you know, ones that I've got like Shazam, which is an actual book. It's like, why, you know? So there are different kind of ones that are like that. So if it can be a bit OCD inducing if you care about that. But if you keep SteelBooks by themselves, then that's perfectly fine. It will work. They will all tower next to each other. Plastic will only scratch itself, which is good. It means that it won't scratch the SteelBook, it won't damage the SteelBook, no dust, no dirt, no nothing. Really, these protectors are fantastically made. My only ones that I have gripes with is the SEF10s because of how the base is designed, and you don't get an instruction manual. I know you could probably put it together like, oh, well, it kind of fits like this and like that. either way, the two different ways that I fit it together, I've done it on several. Again, I had 5, so I had a lot of room to experiment. I've had absolutely no problem with them. Nothing's fallen out of the base or anything, so there's no problem there. It's just the fact that they're not flat, and that's where my OCD comes in. I'm like, oh my god, just be flat, my god. But it's also the top of it. The top of it isn't always flat, even though it's designed to be. So it's just, yeah, it's good, but for me, it's not fantastic. Yeah, and that's all I can really say. It's the convenience is that you can find different packages, 5 packs, 10 packs, I think it's 5, 10, 20, and 50 packs of all these different types of protectors. Obviously, it's one of those things of like, if you pay for the majority, like say you pay for a 20 pack, you get, you know, less shipping and less extra stuff that you have to deal with rather than doing multiple different orders. So bulk buying is usually the better way to go about it. It is what it is. They have all different types of protectors. Of course, they have SteelBook stands as well, so you can check those out too. I do have a video talking about that. But yeah, for the most part, that's really all I can say about SteelBook protectors. They're good, they're efficient, and they're different shapes and sizes. Just make sure you find the right measurements and use the right images to figure out what exactly you're buying. For the most part, they always look the exact same as the SCF ones, which is good. They're just larger in size, whether they're taller or whether they're wider. So, yeah. It's good stuff. And that's it for now. I just figured because I have all these ones that I might as well talk about it, kind of give you, if you're interested, if you're confused, more of a in-depth look at the different types of ones you can get. Outside of that, I hope you've enjoyed. If you want to check out more videos like this, I have a playlist up on the screen which talks about the what is of all of these types of things, whether it be premium labels, or simply how to protect them or display them. And if you want to actually buy them, I'll provide a link to the eBay store in the description, so it makes it easy for you to find. It might be the Australian URL, so you might have to look a bit further to find your particular URL, but I'm sure you'll find it. It is eBay after all. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Adios.